Hello, welcome to the Paper Horse Media YouTube channel. This is the weekly recap. We've mostly got polo this week and one little show jumping story, so let's get started. First off, to get started, a story on the Polo Training Foundation International Exchange. Now, to bring you quickly up to speed, the PTF has a joint initiative with the New Zealand Polo Association. They bring young players from the US and New Zealand together to build experience at the top level. As a part of this, the New Zealand All Blacks have been over here in Florida exploring the polo scene, and they played the USA team at Grand Champions Polo Club. Now, for this game, the New Zealand team had pretty high odds stacked against them. They were playing new horses supplied by the Ganseys, and the weather prohibited any practice. This fact was pretty much reflected in the game as they kind of grew into it, finding their rhythm later on and getting on the board relatively late. But really, by the end of the game, they just looked like a completely different team. They may have lost the game overall, but they certainly won the hearts of some spectators. Paper Horse was over at Wellington last weekend to watch the game, and as the New Zealand All Blacks came by to spectate, we heard from the stands hushed whispers break out, everybody saying, "Look, that's the New Zealand team." So they may have lost the game, but they certainly won themselves some respect down here in Florida. Anyway, on the USA side, Joaquin Vilgray got himself MVP over at Grand Champions. Likewise, 12-year-old Antonio Vigimil made a big impact on the game, and his mount got Best Playing Pony. Either way, this is the next generation of the sport we're talking about, so check out the full story over at paperhorsemedia.com and keep an eye on these young players. Now, also, we have a story on the next generation of equestrian professionals. The Road to the Top initiative has just launched a new apprenticeship program aiming to help young riders break into the professional side of show jumping. They aren't just looking at the riding aspect. The executive director, Sissy Wicks, says the focus is on learning everything that goes into a top-level operation. That, of course, includes horse care, vet work, competition prep, and everything that goes into managing a barn at this top level. The program will place selected applicants into top barns for 6 months, working closely under big names such as Laura Kraut and Katie Prudent. The program makes a point of reaching further down the ladder, not just offering spots to experienced riders, but also offering spots to riders who might not normally have access to this level of the sport. We don't doubt for a second that these 6-month memberships could prove useful to a lifetime show jumping career, so if you want to read more about that, obviously, you know what to do. Lastly, we have a comeback story for you from Wellington this season. We are, of course, talking about Mike Azzaro, legendary 10-goal polo player who capped off his return to the top level by earning himself MVP in the Outback Cup final last weekend. Mike hasn't competed at this level in 8 years, and now he's doing it at 60 years old. More than his age, his experience seems to be a factor, as his strong defensive game proved pivotal. This was summed up by Mike's comments about defending against 10-goal player Tommy Pinello. Mike said, "He may burn 1, he may burn 2, but if I was there, he wasn't getting past me." This proved true as his anticipation and positioning kept him 1 step ahead for most of the game. His team, Miss Mama Bear LW Ranch, edged it in a 12-1 sudden death, which was closed out by Mike's son Harrison with a penalty shot that ended a very, very close game. This team has developed considerably over the season, going from a slow start to finishing undefeated in this tournament. So that's going to round out the weekly recap. That's what we covered this week. Of course, there's lots more going on, but if you want to read about these stories in more detail, you can, of course, head over to paperhorsemedia.com. You can also check us out on TikTok for even shorter summaries of our stories. And other than that, we thank you very much for watching and wish you a very good rest of your week.